Alright guys, we're back with the second podcast with the man himself, ArkDev. Doesn't need really an introduction, but I'll remind you, the founder of NFT Worlds, one of the hottest metaverse projects in the NFT space right now. He's decided he's going to give us some time to answer some of the common questions asked around the community. And without going any further, let's talk about question number one.
Sure.
Can you walk us through how an NFT world owner will implement their in-game economy and sort of in-game purchases that will go on inside their NFT world?
Yeah, so the world owners, when you put your world online, you will launch what's called, a server. You'll basically have a hosted server that's running your world so people can join it and play in it. The NFT world server ecosystem is built on top of like the Minecraft servers. So like specifically like the Spigot ecosystem, and then there's some further along forks we've used like Paper, Airplane, and then to our fork. But yeah, there's basically a plugin. So servers allow plugins in the Minecraft world, and that plugin exposes the ability for a developer or some in-game ways to add areas that will prompt players to transact world in order to get some deliverable or some intended item or something in game. And what it's going to look like from a user experience standpoint is, if you want to say set up a shop or something like that, a player may interact with like an NPC or something like that, and they'll get a little pop-up. Maybe there's some items they can choose to buy. They click one. Before the launcher is out, the way this will work is that once they click an item in their chat box, there'll be a clickable link. They click that link, it will pop them out into their browser, which is the gasless world transaction page.
Right.
That gasless page, based on whatever they're buying, will have what's called a reference ID attached in the background. The player doesn't need to know anything about it, but it's just a way for world owners on the server side to automatically track payments and know who they're from and what they're for. But yeah, so player basically pays that in game or in the world transactions page, and they come back to the game, and the server will hear the event from these Ethereum, or in this case Polygon event logs, that they received the payment. It was for a specific reference ID, and it was from the specific wallet address. They can then cross-reference that, or the server plugin behind the scene cross-references that and tells basically like, this player paid you, this is what it was for, like give them whatever your intended item or thing was in game. And then the player just gets the item in game, or it may teleport them somewhere if it's like to unlock an experience, or it may give them access to content or some perks or level up, depending like whatever the server or the world is using those payments for. But it's pretty much a jump off point. Like we've built the payment layer, and then it's basically like us payment layer, and then beyond the payment layer, it's like, okay, you got the payment, now you as the developer or owner of the world decide exactly like what the player gets.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Yeah. And you said before and after the launcher, so that's going to bring me to another question. When do you estimate that the full NFT world experience regarding the multiplayer will be available?
The launcher is going to really bring the experience to the next level. Like level one is like vanilla Minecraft and like blockchain payments and everything like that for the world token, enabled across all the worlds. The second layer with the launcher, that automatically installs a bunch of quality of life improvements, like our texture pack upgrades, shaders. It basically will not look like the Minecraft people expect. It'll be a much higher res version, much more like visually pleasing from the graphic standpoint. On top of that, it adds in custom functionality that allows us to enable like fully custom skins, fully custom models for players in game, so that you can actually get custom avatars and add their NFT collections in the future, can start building those custom models into the ecosystem. The most important thing is the launcher bakes in a world token wallet right into the launcher, so that when you're in game and you get prompted for a transaction, instead of getting a link and bouncing out to a web page and already having to have MetaMask installed and having a world token in that wallet, instead you'll just get a nice pop-up in game. It's like, this is what you're buying, this is what you're spending, do you want to spend this amount of world? If you hit yes, it just automatically handles it behind the scene from a background process. The launcher is running for your wallet, it'll send the token, It'll give you a little confirmation spinner while you're waiting for the transaction to complete. And then, yeah, it's the same end result. The server then would just give whatever the perk is for paying. But it's frictionless, where you don't have to manage a wallet at that point. You don't have to know how to use a wallet at that point. Because it's gasless, you don't need Matic in that wallet at that point. So from a player standpoint, you just download our game client / launcher and you start playing. You earn world, you spend it.
How long are we doing this 20 world an hour roll?
Oh, yeah. This is temporary.
I knew that, yeah.
Yeah. We're probably going to turn the 20 world an hour off thing soon. Like, the biggest reason we did that was to incent players to join and just start playing around, because like we wanted to do optimizations on the server side. In order to do that, you can load the server in a few ways. One way is you just throw on bots, but like the behavior doesn't necessarily mimic real player behavior one-to-one. Or in this case, like we have a test server that has real players that are incentivized to play. They're enjoying the experience in general, but we have real player load we can simulate against, and that's allowed us to do some further optimization. So worlds in the future can handle more player counts and stuff like that, which is better for the ecosystem. The 20 world an hour though, that'll probably end in like, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks or so, and then we'll change it to some other incentive that's not just like spend time in the server, rather than like, it might be something like perform specific actions, like earn points by playing specific ways, and like whatever we turn this test server into, stuff like that.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because, you know, with the frictionless and not needing to have it like know what a wallet is, players will be able to go to your public server and collect some passive world tokens by participating, and then move on to some of these other projects on the NFT worlds and spend them in game. And
exactly.
Drive a big that's really exciting. That's what I ultimately see as well as a project building on NFT worlds, is that all the in-game play to earn systems and distribution models that we have will complement each other as a whole, and I think that's where the real power from the world token will come from.
Everything we're thinking about is like, how do we compound the network effects of a player economy across all of these decentralized worlds? And I think we're on the right track, but you see it too, it sounds like.
It's the backbone, and I've known that from the start. Everybody, when they're looking at these projects, they're seeing steps on how they can yield some kind of world distribution, but they ultimately get to a point where they're like, but how does it make a full circle? And I tell them like it's having in-game economy being strong. So that's really exciting, especially as like so much stuff is happening in February, but the real excitement is just going to be all the progress from March. Even on months that it doesn't seem like a lot of updates are happening, we're actually just growing the true initiative.
I think after like March, April, like you'll still get quite a bit of updates from us, but the bigger thing to look forward to is at that point, all the tools are out there for world owners to start building these economies and all these experiences, and like multiple worlds are going to come online very quickly at that point. And that's where the exciting part is, where the builders have taken the platform we've given and they start scaling up on top of it, and all of these different things come from it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's cool. I kind of had my eye on that game plan from a while back, before a few of these updates you released even in December. Let's do a sneak peek now into March onwards. Like you just said, there's not going to be as much updates, which is a good thing. Like it's not going to be about following updates and looking for the next exciting news. It's actually going to be the product itself at that point, right? But what can we look forward to? So, for instance, you talked about another layer coming in as for the launcher. Do you have estimates on those?
I think we could see an early version 1 like late March, sometime April. It really just depends how much we want to pack into that version 1. Like we could give something right now that's literally just like no full wallet integration and just visual improvements. Like that's very easy to do. The main thing we want in a V1 though, I think, is like the full interconnected wallet layer, just to reduce the final amount of player friction. So there's just no player friction no need to know crypto. Just it is basically a game from a player standpoint at that point.
Yep. Just utilizing the crypto concept, but you don't need to understand.
Yeah, probably April-ish maybe.
Cool. So let's talk about the Web3 Java wrappers for all the in-game related NFT world contracts. That was one of your exact announcements. So break that down for us in a simplified way.
The Web3 Java smart contract. It's called Web3J. Web3J is a Java library that is similar to like Web3JS for JavaScript or Ethers.js in the JavaScript environment. This is just the Java environment library. But those smart contract wrappers, anyone that wants to build like full bottom-up plugins and needs access to maybe some of the smart contract methods we don't expose in our server plugin, like they can take those wrappers and they can make their full own like Java-based either Minecraft plugins or programs or anything that's Java-based from that point that integrate world token, player state, and things like that. So we have those up more as just like a jump off point for what we assume will probably be people in the future building like crazy involved experiences beyond what we thought they were going to do and the convenience things that we offer through just the server plugin. It's mainly if you need very bespoke functionality that like the server plugin does not expose or wouldn't make sense for the server plugin to expose.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that does make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm. The server plugin builds on top of those, though, for reference. Like we use those internally.
So, let's talk about the blueprint on how a project can utilize NFT worlds for their respective communities. An example would be, and I'm a bit of a stickler on this, but verified builders. Like what other steps go into if I'm a potential customer that wants to buy an NFT world and host my community? Just give me some spark notes on what I can avoid and what I should be doing.
Yeah. So the straightforward process is probably right. First, you want to find an NFT world. Typically whatever you're looking for that resonates well with your community. Most people will build on top of like existing biomes or whatnot. But again, you can like fully demolish a biome area and build from the ground up. But beyond that, once you've found a world that you want and determined the way you want to build, you can go to the NFT World's Verified Builders Marketplace. So it's a Discord server. If you look in the docs or like, I believe it's a link in the Discord server. You can find the links to that Builder Marketplace server there. Once you're on the Builder Marketplace server, all of the builders in there that are verified. So this server is basically all the people that we as NFT Worlds team have said like, okay, these are other teams that know how to build Minecraft worlds. They know how to launch Minecraft worlds. And they know how to build great experiences on top of it. And they've familiarized themselves with all of the ecosystem layers we built on top of just base Minecraft. You can find one that fits your price point, that's done projects maybe similar to what you envision, has a stylistic like approach to like the environment building that you might like for your project. You talk with them, you agree to some price term, usually paid in ETH. They'll build the world for you. Pretty much all of them can handle like setting up the hosting for you, setting up your server, any specific custom functionality you need, they can handle. And then from there, once your server is live, like a server will have an IP address, and you just would go to your world manager on NFT Worlds. This part we're about to release, it's not live yet, but this is like in the next week, you'll just be able to do it this way. You go to your world manager, there's a button that says enable multiplayer. And when you do that, it'll just prompt you like enter the server IP for this world so players know where to play it. And then provide like some basic branding assets like an icon for your world and like a little banner image to entice players to look more on it, description. And then after that, like it would show up in the NFT Worlds launcher once that's live, and it'll show up on the nftworlds.com/play page, which is live already.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, cool. This is a question I get from both, or like any Discord I'm on related to NFT worlds, and I'm surprised that I actually don't know the answer. Can members stake while holding Can members stake while holding an NFT world in a cold wallet?
Sorry, say that one more time. Can they stake?
Can a member say move their NFT worlds to a ledger and then
Oh,
stake?
got it. So the way staking works is technically on the contract side. When you stake, the contract then becomes the quote unquote owner of the NFT world. However, you can set the address that when it's unstaked, that some new address may be set as the owner upon unstaking, or whatever address should have the rights to unstake. So you can do things like, if it's in a hot wallet right now, when you go to stake, you can set basically the owner wallet that the contract sees to like your cold wallet. And then whenever you unstake in the future, it'll unstake back to your cold wallet instead of your hot wallet.
Yeah. Perfect.
But yeah, that's probably the closest thing to what I think you're asking.
Yeah, no, that gives me enough info because so people can't take it off the blockchain per se, because the contract the staking contract needs to hold it, but that's technically. Right. But then anytime it's not being held, it's going to be sent. You can apply your own cold wallet address to send it straight back to.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real safe. And then while we're on that topic, how does these renting? We talked a little bit in our last podcast. How does this renting model look?
Yeah, renting is going to be interesting. So the way it's structured, the way it's structured right now from a world owner standpoint is that a world owner can set a specific deposit amount that a rentee needs to pay to basically put down a deposit in order to secure the world as something they're renting. So I can give an example. Let's say that I am a world owner. I have a world I want to rent. I set my deposit as 5,000 world token, and my daily rent amount, because we've set the rent amounts to be paid daily. Let's say I want like 100 world per day in order for you to rent my world. Once I've set that, there's a rental marketplace app that'll be live. Anyone that's looking to rent a world can go through it and sort by like what world features, like what's already built on them. Like if someone wanted to rent like a pre-built world that's already earning world token, then someone else could rent it to then earn that generation of the world token. There's all these different complex scenarios, but let's say I find the one that I just talked about. I would go into the dApp, the rental dApp. I'd opt to rent it through my wallet address. And the way it would work is that the deposit would automatically get subtracted from my world balance. And I'd have what's called an approved spend set up. So every day the contract can just deduct the proper amount of token I need to pay for the rental. Think of it like auto pay on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
And in the event that I don't have enough world token to cover my rent at any time, such that I default on the rental, then the world rental agreement for me automatically terminates, and the owner then has the right to re-rent or use the world again. But once a world's rented, the owner cannot update they can't update the image, they can't update the server stuff. Basically, all ownership-related functionality gets transferred to the renter without the actual underlying asset on the blockchain being changed completely to the renter fully owning it. So it's just like a transferal of utility rather than a transferal for full asset, and that's what you're renting, is the ability to use the utility within our ecosystem.
Yep.
I think the other thing is that you with renting as an owner, you can set the term duration, the maximum amount of time you want to rent, the term to be available. So like, let's say you want to put your world up for rent and you'll do it up to a 2-year term at the set price per day, and X deposit. Person opts into it. And then at the end of the 2 years, assuming they fulfill the term, then you'd be able to rent it again or use it again. But until that term's either fulfilled or the existing renter defaults, you don't have access to the utility of the world, and you can't sell it while it's being rented.
Of course.
So things to be considered.
Of course. Another thing to be considered too, I talked about this on my last podcast, was that the stake or the renting yields is just going to get stronger and stronger, probably through like March, April onwards, as we're seeing NFT worlds coming out of Reach, which obviously I want more unique wallets to hold NFT worlds so that more people get the experience. But the matter of fact, from a business standpoint, is that they are coming out of Reach, and it's trending upwards. So I would imagine that's just going to correlate with the renting yield strength going higher and higher.
I think so. And from like an ecosystem standpoint, the whole reason we chose to do rentals is that like we kind of expected like, okay, if floor price gets higher, like there shouldn't be a deviation between like a floor price is so unattainable, yet there's still fantastic developers who could make some really great experiences and earn a lot of world, but they can't access it because of the price. So the bridge there is rentability, where a great developer team could rent a world for a long enough term that they want, and set like, you can set some renewal agreements too. I didn't really speak on that, but they rent something for the term they want, they build a fantastic experience, and the renter is the one earning the world token from the play to earn experiences that they build. Exactly. And so that's how, you know, they get access to the ecosystem and earning world token through their development and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, how many NFT projects are out there right now that have a community that are just chomping at the bit to have some sort of utility? Like these collectibles, right? They need a utility. So and that's where I was talking early on about when I was with NFT Worlds. Early on, I was like, you know, I was talking to some owners of NFT projects that were just purely collectible, and I'd say, you know, what would it look like to add metaverse to your roadmap right now to implement your brand into, because the NFT world I was owning, and this was before renting was a thing, but now it's coming to fruition to where all of this will be a lot simpler and accessible. So what are your top 3 bullish moves that are coming up? You can be specific or broad, but like let's hear it.
Top 3 bullish. We're really excited about the in-game transaction layers coming online through our plugin.
Right.
So this is going to allow like payments and transactions. With that, shortly to follow, there'll be a standardized trading layer for players in game to trade amongst themselves with world token for items they already hold, rather than trading directly to the world owner for like marketplace level items. So that further fosters cross like ecosystem economy. Rentals are coming soon with staking. From like staking's great, like from a incentivization standpoint, but I'm more excited about opening up more accessibility to the ecosystem from the rental side for great developers who, again, like we talked about, might get priced out. Because we want people to be able to build. Like at the end of the day, we're the most excited about great experiences being made and these really cool ideas coming to fruition. We're not trying to make this like just stake and get token and now do I do a token thing. Like we're trying to make a full ecosystem. And then maybe the last one, I think. Oh yeah, we haven't announced this yet, but
here we go.
Yeah. So with the launcher coming out and custom models and playable characters and all that stuff coming, we are going to launch NFT World's avatars, which will be it'll be a separate NFT collection that works uniquely in that all other projects can work directly with us to get their full NFT like PFP collection built as collectibles under the NFT World's avatars collection. So like cool. If you want like Grey Boys is an example. We've already kind of started doing this. We didn't hint that it's part of this, but Grey Boys, for example, like we had, you know, our model workers and artists generate out all the traits in the, you know, voxel style format that we need for the Minecraft playable characters. And then, we basically mimicked all the traits for the Grey Boys PFPs, and then we're able to regenerate them as playable characters. And this is a service we can work with any other community that like makes sense to work with and bring them all online into NFT Worlds very easily. And then from there, those communities can choose to then just airdrop the avatars for their holders within the marketplace, within the NFT Worlds avatars collection.
This is awesome. Is this a? Do you have an estimate on when you're releasing this?
The launcher is kind of a necessity to make this work, just because there's the custom functionality with avatars and enforcing verification for like you actually own an avatar and therefore it's attached to your character.
Yep.
Is part of that, but it will definitely be Q2. It's possible the collection goes live this quarter, but I think we'll have that up, running, and usable in the second quarter of this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
But I think that'll be a big deal. Like everyone wants to look like their PFPs and run around in the world and flex and whatnot. So.
Yep. Just more reason to be in the game, I think, is the name, is the move right now.
Yeah, we do actually have a decent amount of collections that are really big. I can't give any names that are already like working behind the scenes to get their PFPs live for their holders, and I don't think they've announced yet either. So, because we've told them not to announce because we haven't actually announced the avatars stuff. So.
Oh, so you want me to edit that chunk out, or we keep it?
No, it's okay. If people actually, watch the whole video, they get some nice alpha that people might not know.
We were trending on YouTube. Like we went over 1,000 views, or just around 1,000 views, and I don't know if you got a chance to catch that meme video I made a while ago, but that actually hit like 5,000 views.
I did. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I just was like just starting my day. It really wasn't something I planned, and I remembered that meme, and I'm like, I think I can make a creative meme here. And what better place, like what better marketing tool is literally just like a simplistic, funny.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I know your time's valuable, but this last question I have for you, I need a precise answer on.
Oh boy.
Okay, so what is going to be the value of NFT Worlds next month?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not serious question, but you don't need a precise answer. Just what is your like we're going like, let's just talk about things as such an example of how much are being listed on OpenSea and like tangible information that we can use here. Like what are we at? 6% perhaps is listed total right now.
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't usually like. The market kind of determines the floor price of the NFT worlds and stuff. And we just continue to build the vision and the ecosystem, and the market reacts based on the development progress and the things that we release.
Right.
I know that, like we've talked about, there's a lot of there's just back-to-back to things coming, and all these compounding effects with player-owned communities about to come up. I have no idea what that will do to price. Marketplace always reacts one way or another to things. So yeah, I can't. I don't think I can give you an answer.
I knew you'd have like. I didn't expect that. I just. I wanted to talk about a few of the things that do relate to the floor price right now, but that is it is just what's incredible about NFT Worlds is just the amount listed at all times, and I think that's well known around the NFT industry right now is you've got all these big name projects like NFT Worlds, but nothing with the limited supply, and that's prior to staking, that's prior to multiplayer. This is
I think the last I checked, this may not be the case anymore, but I think we were one of the projects with the lowest listed supply, if not the lowest listed supply at one point or another. There was a period where I think we were down in like the 300s of 10,000, so 3%.
Is that with like the filter of it has to be over a certain floor price? Like was that when we were over Ethereum or something, for example? Because
I don't remember. I forget when I looked this up. I don't know if it's the case still, but
yeah, but yeah, no, cool. Well, look, Ark, I really appreciate you jumping on with us again. We're around just over 30 minutes, and so if people have stuck around this long, I appreciate them too. I just want to let you know, us at SkuxxVerse community, that we have your back. We're supporting you the whole way, and we're just enjoying the ride so far, man. Like it's I said this last time. It's sometimes it's not all about the product, and it's about the people behind the team, behind the product, and you and Temp, you guys are doing just great jobs, and so I appreciate that. I mean,
yeah, thank you.
We're with you all the way, mate.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're just gonna keep building. So
yeah, keep executing. All right, mate.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Cheers.